Alright, and we are live. Just to make sure all my streaming software is running. Things. It looks pretty good to me. So, in this stream, I'm just going to be speccing out some cheap PC part picker gaming PCs. All this will be on my PC part picker profile. I'll link that in the description. So, let's get started. Save parts list. All these are outdated. Are these outdated? It's easy to just throw these in the outdated pile. That's the cheapest one. $400 office PC. Man, where did that go? Oh, wow, that power supply. We'll create. Actually, we'll start with some office PCs. This is office PC. I don't really... Actually, that's pretty awesome for $100. Where did this go wrong? I feel like this is still kind of relevant. This still feels pretty relevant for $600 if you're looking for a premium office computer and you have some money to spend. I'm not going to change that. $650 gaming PC. And, well, here, I'm gonna do something. I usually don't like to do this, but in this case, I'm just gonna 6600. We'll just choose the cheaper one. Why not? Why not choose the cheaper one? No clue how good the Gigabyte Eagle one is. I'm sure it's better than the ASRock one. Not that the ASRock one's bad. Great. This is 700. Yeah. Looks pretty decent for 671. Well, I guess I won't have to be updating any of these builds. I just chose that good of parts. They aged well. The relevance to the market. How about $800 gaming PC? Oh, that didn't age well. That really the only thing. Edit parts list. Again, I'm just gonna like swap out this ASRock GPU. With this other ASRock GPU. Nice. I've noticed that the 67 XTs are kind of starting to go up in price, so if you're looking for a decent $300 graphics card, I would buy now. Don't wait. Don't wait for a better deal on the 6700 XT unless you plan on buying used. If you're looking to buy a GPU brand new, I would buy now. That's my recommendation. So it really looks like AMD's kind of trying to fade out the 6700 XT. Probably to make room for the 6700. They're probably trying to make room for the 7600 XT or the 7700 XT. Or non-XT variant, I don't know. 7900 XT being at $700 means the 7700 XT is going to be reasonably priced. At least somewhat reasonably priced. I mean, the 7800 XT could still be $600. But I don't quite understand why they would do that. Considering the 6950 XT has actually gone down. And the 6800 XT exists. It almost feels like the 7800 XT is either forced to be as good as a 6950 XT or it has to be $500. Or $550. So the 7700 XT might be pretty reasonably priced. Anyways. Going on. That looks pretty good for some price point. Wow, I thought I was going to have to do guys all these builds. How about $940? Oh, yep, that one's... No, not even close. I want this $1,000 build. 1200? Oh, Sapphire one. Sapphire? Come on. You only $1,000. Is this one relevant still? Oh. Only $1,000 gaming builds. Gaming PCs I expect them. This used to be the 60-100. I think I used the dashboard there. Let's make some new builds. We're going to start off with my favorite CPU, which is the Ryzen 5 5600. The reason I like this chip is just because it's stupid cheap. And it performs like the 12400F, which also performs like the 13400. Great improvement there, Intel. And it's cheaper. Yeah, that's the only reason I choose this over the 12400. This might have a better upgrade path, but the 5800X 3D is still pretty good. So if you need a better CPU later on down the line, 5800X 3D. 5600 is cheaper. And it's competent. The reason I always choose this B550 dashboard, the B550M dash from Gigabyte, is because it has BIOS flashback. That's the only reason. I mean, it's got some VRM cooling. It's not a lot. But something. You don't need a CPU cooler because this comes with a box cooler that's good enough. It's better than the Intel stock coolers, which actually do kind of suck. Those are still good enough. And when it comes to RAM, I always choose the Silicon Power Kit because it's not like it's gonna be any worse than like the Samsung or G-Skill kits. They might be more reliable, but I highly doubt you're gonna have issues with this kit. And it was $30. If this breaks 2-3 years down the line for some apparent reason, I don't suspect it will. Actually, it might be more expensive, but it was only $30. You're not spending 33 or 36. I guess that's the Teamwork kit. Might as well just save an extra few dollars. It's not like the RAM's gonna fail. I don't suspect that's gonna be the problem. When it comes to storage, I like these two drives. There's a lot of great drives. MV2. I don't think this one's all that great. I can't remember. P3, that's solid. A lot of people like the A60. A lot of people don't even know about the UD90. I would rather have the UD90 than the A60 because it comes with an actual DRAM cache and it's PCIe 4.0. It's just a faster SSD. And it's really cheap. I'm going to choose this one. I haven't quite decided what build I'm going for yet. But maybe we'll go for something with the 6800 XT. We have 3 options. This one isn't really an option. I'm sorry. I mean, this card's fine. This one's probably going to go out of stock. I believe the Merc's a better card anyways. So I'm going to choose the XFX. Could go 4000D. But, come on. If you're on a budget, just drill some holes in this case. See more. Actually, this looks like it has an okay amount of airflow. I think I'd be really concerned about his dimensions. A lot of drive cages. You're not using drive cages in 2023. 350 millimeters. That's pretty close. I think it'll probably work. If it doesn't work, you can make it work. It's pretty close. I don't know. We might have to swap that out. And for the power supply, that actually got cheaper. $20 cheaper. That's a good thing. Why is this still going at $120? I get Corsair just hasn't touched it, but, like, why? Why haven't they touched it? This is going for $130. This is going for $120. This wasn't even a good deal at $120. Why would you choose this over the RMA 50X? Why save the $10? Why? Why did Corsair do that? Why does Corsair do stuff? I could say the same thing about the CX750M and the RM750E. Just don't make sense. Seems like they're trying to keep PSU prices high. I guess if you're gonna go down a tier, you might as well get the CX650M. It really sucks because there's not a lot of great PSUs for sub $100. There are decent PSUs, but they're not. Like the RM650, RMX 650 should be sub 100. At this point, that's probably just a GT. $90? Are you serious? I trust this PSU. I trust it more than the Thermaltake one. That's why nobody's buying the Thermaltake one. Not that that's a very good one. What's a CX650? That's actually not that bad. For a C-Sonic unit, that is. I wasn't expecting it to be that cheap. Let's go with 650. I'm gonna opt for the 850 watts would benefit me. But I think that we should go for that power supply. 750 watts is gonna be fine because we're running 5600. I think this only has, I think 6800 XTs can have 3 pins, and this one only has 2. Why? Okay, I'll check this on a separate screen. I'm pretty sure it does. The builder. See, we're actually at $950, so we could spend $50 more in the case. If we really wanted to. Or you could spend it more storage, or you could do whatever you want. This is actually on Best Buy. I wasn't really expecting to find something this cheap. Best Buy. Does this have? No, it has 2 8-pins. Seriously, that'd be weird. Why would the 6800 XT have 2 8-pins? The XFX Merc 6800 XT with the XFX 7900 XT only have... why would the 6800 XT have 3 8-pins and the 7900 XT only have 2? Same XFX variant. That wouldn't make any sense. And I was right about that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe somebody had to turn it for warranty. It's a nice thing about buying something from Best Buy is they're pretty likely to honor your warranty. I don't know. I feel like they'll honor your warranty. Or their return policy, not your warranty. So this is going for $950. I want this to be $1,000. What can we do? Wow, this has gotten cheap. I don't really know how good the CC560 is. I've not seen too many builds using it, but it looks like such a cool case. Honestly, I don't know why. You can see the airflow probably isn't the best, but it can't be that bad. What's so offensive about this case that nobody wants to use it? It's cheap. It's very cheap. I don't know. I don't personally understand. That looks like a decent case. How big of a GPU can I fit? That will actually matter. 370, that's fine. Okay. Not bad. Honestly, we have enough money. We're not going to be that far over 1,000. Why not just opt for the RM850X? $7 over 1,000. That doesn't include tax, obviously. But the best part is none of these, there's no stupid mail-in rebates. There's no... This is actually pretty good for $400. Or not $400,000. What's this gaming PC for? I always like to... What's that? Just to kind of guide people. 1440p Ultra. I'm telling you what resolution to basically use. You can use whatever resolution of monitor you want, but that's my recommendation. It's 1440p Ultra. I guess we're gonna have to do a high-end PC. You know, we can make this a high-end PC. You know what we could do? We could go from 6800 XT to weird 7800 XT. Huh. What 7800 XT do we choose? Ignore this. That's not there. That's an 8. Why are there so many options? Did they just, like, do a straight-up price drop down to 700? Like, what? Uh-oh. Just ignore. Ignore. You didn't see anything. Did they just do a price drop down to 700? Were they like, this is a 7800 XT now? Like, okay. Why didn't you launch it at $700? And call it a 7800 XT? 30% faster than the 6800 XT. Yeah, it kind of seems 7800 XT to me. I remember when $700 GPUs were actually good. Yeah. 1080 Ti. 2080 Ti should have been $700. Then you had the 3080. I'm kind of surprised they released a 3080 Ti. This is the natural progression to that. It's just Nvidia apparently doesn't care about $700 anymore. AMD cares, I guess. I don't know why it took them so long. If that's what they wanted to price it at. Like, why did they lower the price? I mean, I guess it's kind of working out for them, because look at how many people are buying these cards. Actually, this was... People were buying this when it was $800. Oh, wait, this XTX. It's an XTX. Like, what? What are people doing? I personally have this variant, and this isn't going to be for every version. This isn't going to... You might have a completely different experience. Temperature, thermals are really good. No coil line. Super quiet. Just... If I'm going to recommend a card, based on personal experience, this version of the 7900 XT is pretty good. I do have high idle power draw. Most 7000 series cards do. So you gotta know that. Just coming in, you're probably gonna see like 100 watts. Maybe 90, 80. But if you're okay with that, this is a decent card. I'm using it right now. I've been using it for like the past 3 to 4 months. It's a really decent GPU. At 800, it was a little bit much, but at 700, it's priced right where it should be. $1,200. What are we going to call this? Actually, this build would look pretty good. The only thing that would probably hold it back is going to be that dashboard. If you wanted to spend a little more, it's probably not a bad idea. Wait, I just moved this into... I would call this high-end. It doesn't take much to build a high-end gaming PC nowadays. Well, I guess you don't get the high-end CPU. Now, obviously you could swap this out for the XTX. But at that point, the 5600 is probably going to hit a wall. Even at 4K. The XTX is quite a bit faster. But it's okay. I mean, of course it's okay. The XTX usually goes for around 900. The MSI variant, the Sapphire Pulse. I'm gonna opt for the XFX variant because I like the look of them. Sapphire Pulse would also probably be a decent version. I've just had a really good experience with this generation of XFX cards. We're at 1400. Now I could do that. I think what I'm gonna do, or at least gonna try it. I know the price is gonna go up by a decent amount. I'm hoping that it only goes up by about $200. I would honestly wait for the 7500F. And wait to see if that's basically just a 7600X or a 7600 without the iGPU for sub 200. Because that obviously makes more sense than this. Assuming it comes with a stock cooler. But I guess that's up to you. All these motherboards would work just fine. They aren't going to come with Wi-Fi support, though. I don't even know if that Gigabyte board I had will come with Wi-Fi support. But here's the thing. I feel like even these boards probably come with USB-C. Do they? No, they actually don't. Okay, that's... Never mind. You know, I expected you... I don't know. I don't know what to say, I guess. You could use a mobile hotspot. You get Wi-Fi there. You could add a Wi-Fi card. You could... There's a lot of things you could do. But... So I wouldn't worry too much about Wi-Fi support in a motherboard, personally. Also, if you can get Ethernet, that's better. Obviously. But for some people, that's not really an option. There's the B650K, or the B650... I'm not 100% sure which one of these boards is actually, but not that one. Better. I would almost rather opt for the Dash, but I don't want to opt for a Gigabyte board anymore. I don't trust Gigabyte motherboards anymore. Not even related to the Gamers Nexus controversy. The fact that there was, like, some backdoor to these boards that allowed your personal data to just be siphoned out. Peter, I don't trust them. I don't trust ASUS with anything AMD. So really, I'm looking at either ASRock or MSI. The thing is, MSI makes decent boards. So, that's not really a problem. Oh, we haven't chosen memory yet. Huh. That's kind of cheap. Now, if you choose this kit around, you're going to get some really good performance. This is CL30. This is an SK Hynix kit. If you want to do any memory overclocking, you're going to need really one of these. Like any meaningful memory overclocking past XMP profiles. You're going to want one of these. I know that's not most people, though. The Samsung kit would still be fine. We just got to save money. This is $98. Just keep that in mind. Come down here. Right here. This is a Samsung kit going for $80. I wouldn't recommend this. Oh, yeah, I certainly wouldn't recommend that. I didn't even see. I thought it was 5600. There's a lot of 32 gig kits. There's not a lot of 16 gig kits that are actually, like, decent. DDR5. And that's because 16 gigs has kind of been abandoned. Just because most DDR5 based systems are kind of high-end. Starting around 1600. That's kind of what I expected. Honestly, this seems like a solid build. Only concern I would have. Wait, how's the small eye? Oh, this is this version. No offense. I don't really care for the white backplate in these versions of the cards. I know some people probably don't mind. If you use one of, like, those, like, black and white cases or whatever from, like, NZXT. But I guess you can't care too much. It's still gonna look decent. I mean, it's a 7900 XT and a 6. We're gonna get rid of this. Oh, wow, that's the most. And we'll get rid of the 4091. I just realized that's still private. How are people supposed to take advantage of that if it's private? Also enable comments. Hmm. Hmm. Thinking about where to go from here. I think I'm just gonna start with a whole new build. We're gonna go for something around 2 grand. We are gonna need a cooler for this. RGB or no RGB? I'm not for the RGB variant, but I don't think it really matters much. You ask me. Do you really care about RGB? SK Hynix kid, a really fast DDR5 RAM. Low latency. You don't need that good of storage for gaming. I'm just gonna opt for a 2 terabyte variant of the UD90. You can always add more SSD storage later, that's not that hard. It might require you to pull out your graphics card though. Not that that's hard. Just I guess it could be kind of a pain, so you should. Very small storage. We could check the 4080. Not the 3080. 3080 is not even. I'm not surprised. This version was going for, I think it was this version. They're adding the local. Okay. Yeah. No. It wasn't in stock. I wouldn't go for that card. Personally. Stop for that. When it comes to a case, you can really choose any case you want. That's reasonable. I'm thinking we're gonna try the 5000D, but we might be forced to go down to something like 4000D. Yeah. We're close. We're really close. RM 50X, that would work. I'd really like the 1000, personally. We don't have an AIO. I think the 4000D. Say why not. I mean, this is $35 over 2000, which is okay chunk of change, I guess. But you're getting 7900 XTX, you're getting 7800 X3D, fastest gaming CPU, second fastest gaming GPU for 2 grand. I don't think that's too bad. Not that the third fastest gaming GPU is meaningfully slower, but it also costs $200 more. So that would bring that up to 2200 over that. We're not even gonna enable that one. Now let's do something with 4090. 4090. You know what we could do? There's no other improvements to be had. Essentially. For some, like, quality of life things. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I have no clue how good these variants are. I don't want this in my computer. Why does this thing look like a spaceship? Okay, this is like spaceship-y design. This is too far. You'll see this with a lot of the newer 40 series designs, especially in the higher end cards. Some of them don't look bad, I don't know. If you ask me, the XFX, just the AMD AIB cards in general, for the most part, are more tasteful. That's because NVIDIA isn't telling them what to do. Let's see, how many 4090s are even reasonable? Trio or X Trio. I'm gonna choose the X Trio. $2,800. That's not bad for the world's fastest gaming PC. I know it's cheaper, but I'm gonna set it at $2,800. So, I don't know. I'm glad to see GPU prices come down. It's a good thing. But, I don't know. I feel like people don't always take the most advantage of it. We're gonna look at some PC part picker builds. And I'm just gonna show you. Not ones with like 4090, like here. This is a good one. Abe the Destroyer. I didn't know Abe Lincoln was a destroyer. Okay, that's... So, Behemoth, friend's first PC build. You assisted him with the parts. Okay. So, for his first... This is his first gaming PC build. It doesn't even looks pretty average. I don't understand... Wait, what? So you opted for 7700X. I mean, I don't know what this computer's for, but I'm going to assume gaming. NHC 15. The NHC 15 is a good cooler, but it's not worth the amount of money over... It's not... I'm trying to think how much money... It's not worth spending $100+ on when you could get the Peerless Assassin that's not much worse for $40. I like the NHD 15, but it needs to be cheaper. And it doesn't seem like Noctua is interested in that. This variant might also just not have the most stock. B650p board, this is a decent board. I would have just spent the extra, what was it, $3, $4 to get the SK Hynix kit. I would choose Samsung SSDs in my higher end builds, but first of all, higher end storage looks like doesn't really matter. Unlike what some console fanboys, particularly PlayStation fanboys, would like to tell you, it doesn't matter all that much. Having SSD storage is a good thing. As long as you have like NVMe SSD storage, even the A60, your games are gonna load fine. They're gonna run fine. You aren't gonna run into problems related to that. If you have a cache, especially. A60 doesn't even have a cache, but it's fast enough. Really, any NVMe drive like that's fast enough to where it doesn't need a cache. It does help. It's not necessary. So the 970 Evo Plus at this point is kind of it's a bit older. I'm not sure it's really all that great of an option anymore. I'm not really an expert on when it comes to drives and what drives to choose, but I don't think this is the one. 100%. Maybe reliability, I guess. Although some of the recent issues with Samsung drives really make me question that. I noticed you put a 2TB hard drive in there. I know I said you don't need the fastest drives, but don't go for a hard drive. Not in 2023. You will run into problems with hard drives related to like loading textures, and generally games with hard drives aren't going to run as smoothly. They aren't going to run, especially like open world games. Not every game, but hard drives will affect your perceived performance or whatever while the world's loading in, or not just through load screens, but through like, I don't know what they call it. I forgot. But like you're gonna experience more lag spikes in like open world games. And look at how much this costs. This costs $55 for insanely slow load times and a drive that might cause lag spikes or whatever and make some open world games unplayable. This is not worth $55. Don't do this. Don't. Okay, now there's the 3060. 3060 is a fine card. It's kind of expensive, but it's fine. It's the IQ version of 5000D, I guess you want the RGB. This is actually kind of cool, I guess. I don't know what fans this comes with. Seems like it's worth it if you want RGB. And then he added the monitor, just this LG monitor. It's IPS, 1440p, 165 hertz. There's obviously a lot of problems with this build. He spent $1,700 and he only has a 3060 and a 7700X. That's pretty terrible. This is pretty awful. We can even go into PC Power Picker. He didn't say what it's for, but first of all, if you were to do this build again, get rid of that hard drive. There's no reason to be using hard drives in 2023 in modern gaming systems. That makes no sense. That's gonna cost more. This is actually a pretty decent drive. Don't buy this. If you're looking for a cooler that's all blanked out, no RGB, there you go. Where did he really wasted a lot of money in the case. But I don't want to change that. So I understand they're going for like a style. If you go for the 7700, that'd save us more money. This whole build kind of has to be revised. You have to realize that adding $350 on 32-inch 1440p display. One of my friends has one of these displays. I question it, personally. Because I know the PPI is going to be pretty low. I think you would be better off going 4K on a 32-inch display. Or a 31-inch display. That's like 31.5. I think you'd be better off with 4K, personally. I think that's just going to look better. I think this is where you can really take advantage of 4K. But it is kind of affordable. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to actually wait. I don't know if this is RGB, but like that blue color is pretty nice. So now we're down to 1500. Where are we going wrong? Well, it seems like we just don't need any of this. We're going to opt for... I'm going to think about this. 5800X 3D. $320. Jeez. 600X 3D is probably in stock at Micro Center, but... really, this build doesn't need that good of a CPU, I guess. I'm still going to try to keep a full-size motherboard in there. And I know he spec'd it out with the 32 gig kit, but... I mean, we could still go 32. I think 16 would work fine. Now we're down to 1300. So $900. Why is this still $900? Just because it's the extra storage. We're gonna save those few extra dollars. We're gonna add a UD90. It's a $950 build. Oh, I guess you don't really need the CPU cooler. But I'd like to keep that. I know this is going to be reducing 1 terabyte, but you might as well. He had 3 terabytes before, now he's 2 terabytes SSD storage. The GPU is a bit expensive. I'm going to swap that out. We're trying to get the most performance possible. We're going to opt for the XT, because, like, if you're going to spend that much, you might as well get something decent. Boom. If you really wanted to, you don't have to spend this much on a motherboard. This is a mid-tower, though. I like this computer. 1700. I'd say it's better than the one he had before. Actually, wait, I have it. Obviously, the CPU is worse, but the GPU is, like, far better. You could obviously go 6800 XT and get a better GPU. Or better CPU, sorry. You could get, like, a 5700X. You could even go Ryzen 7000. I still don't see where I'm going wrong with this build. Clearly there's something I'm doing wrong here, and I'm not seeing it. Maybe it has to do with the board. Maybe if I go for, like, the dashboard, like I usually do. Well, that helped. And I dropped the CPU cooler. Oh, this is... I guess we're still at 1200. Yeah, whatever. He's getting a 7900 XT, basically. But a 5600. Which feels a lot better. Like, that's a lot better of a gaming build than 3060 and 7700X. It might not be the most balanced, but I'm guessing the 5600 would be okay. As long as you're playing... I guess at 1440p, you don't really even need it. 1600 XT would still be fine. $1,600. Oh, 2022. 3070 Ti, the 370 Ti is completely irrelevant at this point, so any build with it's probably been built like a few months ago or something, or uses like a used GPU. Like 3070 Ti is not really a good price right now. Like I don't see anybody buying it over the 6800 XT unless they're not gaming. Then yeah, is it even still going for? Oh, it's not how you spell. How am I failing? Spell. Okay, there we go. Oh, I guess it's came down, actually. I still wouldn't really recommend it at $400. I would just commit the extra 100. Or 80 in this case. 3070s really came down. Not bad. I'm actually kind of surprised. Let's see where the 4060 Ti is sitting at. Nice. Basically no price drop. Are you serious? I don't know. So I guess 3070 Ti is more relevant than I thought. It's surprising. I think my mic's fine. Anyways, let me get back to this. I mean, I could always go after 4060 Ti builds. But, like, that feels... First AMD build has really cheap and irrelevant performance. Let's look at it. Good build. So you got these parts secondhand. Why did you label any of these parts? Wait, what? Oh, you built this back in 2019. I was gonna say, what? Why would he be using those parts now? I'm looking. I'm looking for questionable builds. Let's go on the forum. Parts list opinions. Okay, I can't find any builds that I can, like, really go after that aren't, like, either stylized or... $5,000 build for 5 years. Imperious Battlestar as the answer. I don't think this is a good answer, to be fair, and there's only one part I don't actually agree with. I don't think you should buy the 7950X 3D. He's opting for the Arctic Liquid Freezer 360. This is a really good cooler. These are some of the best performing AIOs, in case you're wondering. Don't know why you would opt for this board. I'm going to tell you to not opt for this board. This is a risky board top. This is a risky board to use. He's pairing an X3D CPU with an Asus ROG Strix X670E variant of the motherboard. Now, this wasn't the exact board that was known for burning CPUs, but I wouldn't trust Asus. Also, this makes no sense. There's no reason to spend $500 on a board. It might come with a lot of features, but these are features you're not going to use. This isn't gonna do anything for you. But I wouldn't recommend this. Also, this is not 64 gigs. It's fine. In 5 years, I don't suspect 32 gigs will be irrelevant, though. In 5 years' time, I do not suspect a 64 gig kit will be necessary. Next-gen consoles are going to make 32 gig kits really good for the next 8 years. I don't suspect a 64 gig kit's going to become a requirement, even with the way games are designed for consoles. Or at least some games. Not entirely sure why we want this drive. Is this like previous storage he had? But what? This is Intel. Wait, we're really spending $500 on this Intel drive? That's a lot of money to burn. Especially when you get this nice board. Why would you not just get a bunch of like 2 terabyte NVMe drives? For cheaper than $500. What? 4090, obviously. Going for the AIO variant, that's fine, but in 5 years' time, this isn't gonna age. Unless this isn't what this is. Oh, this is totally what this is. This is a good version of the card. It might even make the card run better by running it cooler, but I wouldn't suspect that's gonna be. I wouldn't suspect the heat's gonna kill the card. At least not in 5 years' time. I would rather not have to deal with like a pump or whatever. Because that seems like that's more likely to fail than maybe even a fan. And there also can be air bubbles, and I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't choose this. There's no reason to choose this over an actually, like, PSU from, like, Corsair or Seasonic. Especially when you're paying $250. It's not like the Asus ROG Loki's a bad PSU. But you can compare it to the Seasonic 2000 watt PSUs and they would absolutely destroy this one. Probably in actual performance. Arctic P12s. And a webcam. I'm sure he didn't make all of these. Let's look at this build. Okay. First of all, let's not spend $500 on the motherboard. How are we going EAT? Wait, what? We're going 11D Mini? This is an especially bad idea. Going for a 360. I'm going to show you why. You know where a 360 mm AIO is going to have to go on this? It can't go up here. It has to go down here. And that's one of the worst ways to set up your AIO. And I know he's going for a smaller form factor, but he could just use an air cooler in that case. It isn't going to be a big deal, and actually AIO is just going to be expensive. Or he could choose a different case. Wait, I don't know. Why am I doing that? Okay, let's edit this. This AIO is in stock. We're not. No. Just no. If you want to go for a high-end CPU, that's fine. Don't go for this one. I'm guessing they haven't sorted out the problems, partially because they can't. One CCD actually has the 3D cache, the other one doesn't, meaning that they're swapping between it. And the other one just has a worse gaming performance even than the normal 7950X. It's not worth it. Oh, I guess it is kind of cheap. How much worse is it, though? I would almost rather opt for the normal X variant, but the X3D variant does cost the same amount. In all fairness. But it comes with problems. That's tough. I'm gonna stick with the normal X variant. We'll think about the CPU cooler. This makes no sense in this case. You know what you'd be okay with for the next 5 years? This board right here. If you're really doing something that needs... Did I read it? Gaming has at least 4 to 6 years with minor upgrades. First of all, you shouldn't have to upgrade this build in 4 to 6 years. I know people who have used the 770 for 10 years. And it's been fine for them. This build is more than good enough for 4 to 6 years. It's going to be running 4K Ultra Max 120 FPS every game. 6 years from now? Probably not. But it's still going to be relevant. At least to some degree. I'm going to opt for a normal 4090. Only because I feel like that's going to last longer. I don't know. I don't know if these ones are any good. Like, I have no experience with PMY. Only MSI variants are fine. This is, obviously don't do this. Don't. Like, seriously, don't. Choose a decent PSU. Wow, never mind. We're gonna go back. We're gonna choose a different case. This is controversial, but we're gonna, controversial. We're gonna choose a different case. This isn't that small of a case, first of all. I don't know if he wants the smaller form factor. I don't know if he's just seen it in some YouTube video. This is a decent case, but not for an AIO. And if he wants an AIO, we can't do this. I mean, you can, but you don't know 360s. If you buy a 360mm AIO, you're kind of just screwing yourself over. We could obviously opt for 4000, 5000D. I say we just go for normal all 11D. This H9 Flow. I have no clue how good that one is. We have 4 reviews. Mark it down. For that. Why not? Now we can look at Seasonic. You have $5,000, you better have a Seasonic PSU. I'm just saying. If you're gonna spend $5,000 on a PC, Seasonic. I preferably would like to, cheapest. Are you serious? That's not even the cheapest. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I guess it forced you to choose a PCUs. Okay, 1300 Prime, 1300 Gold. That seems like it might be a candidate. It's the first. I have no clue how good that one is. But we have a ton of money to spend. Mainly uni fans. So we're going for 4 of them. We'll stick with the 4. You need a new webcam. This budget. We have so much money to spend. Maybe you don't go for your traditional webcam. Maybe you go for like a DSLR camera. Maybe a mirrorless camera. There's plenty of good mirrorless cameras out there. Micro HDMI can be kind of a pain, at least from what I've heard. But, like, it's going to look a lot better if you use micro HDMI and take full advantage of it. 8 terabytes of storage seems like enough. Considering how big games were even back then. I don't know. 32 gig kits, still 30. This is a really solid kit around. He has so much money to spend, it almost doesn't matter. For a CPU cooler, we're going to opt for... We can actually opt for a Lian Li cooler. They have some AIOs. So we can choose whatever one you want. You have $5,000. If you're really willing to just burn $5,000 on a computer, you can truly do whatever you want without much repercussion. Unfortunately, we don't, so Arctic's the next best option. So if you don't care too much, you can choose a Corsair AIO with stupid... Yeah, I don't know. Stupid LCD display. Or not for this one. I like how the monitor wasn't even a part of this price. For $5,000, you could buy a whole new monitor. Maybe you have like maybe you're using like the LG C1. I don't know. I'm not gonna assume. I don't think this is realistically gonna... I don't think you need 64 gigs of RAM. But you have so much money that it... Why not? Why not at least try it? You apparently have just... you've either saved up a ton of money over the course of like a year or so, or you just have a lot of money. Like, I don't... I would never recommend spending $5,000 on a computer. Let me think about this a second. We could swap these fans out in the CIO with these. Put one at the back. Actually, that seems good enough. 4 seems fine. How much NVMe stars could we fit on this? Honestly, I think we could even choose a better board. I know I said, like, you don't really need a better board. You don't. But I'd like an E variant. How much does an X670? How much do those go for? Are they really that expensive? Those are like the high-end ones. You buy the gun bike? That would be ridiculous. And very, very unnecessary. I also question... Choose whatever board you want. Choose whatever board you want. Honestly, I'm not even gonna bother finishing this build. Do what you want, man. Guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream off here. If you enjoyed the stream, you can subscribe, you can do whatever. I kinda gotta go. It's a bit late for me. Have a good day.